So at the time of this recording, the most recent two Doctor Who episodes are the one with the cartoon villain, and the one with the deaf woman being tormented by an unseen entity. And you know what? I didn't hate either of them. I also didn't love them. And they're not funny enough to be parody either. They just sit in an uncomfortable middle ground. But on this channel, we're all about loving with one heart, hating with the other, so review them we must. Now, let's get the obvious out the way. I really liked actually, the idea behind Lux of the cartoon character as a villain. I think they should have done that earlier. But I really don't think, that's going to get clipped, I really don't think Lux did enough with its gimmick. I mean, for one thing, here was the villain we were promised, here was the villain we got. They even say at one point he was 2 feet tall and not that intimidating. I mean, come on, people have said it besides me, this shot was for the trailer. And let's face it, most of what Mr. Ring-a-Ding does in the first half or so of his screen time is stand there and be annoying and torment the Doctor, which of course are things that a villain should do, but he really needs to do more than that. Like, okay, turn the Doctor and his companion into cartoon characters, that's a good start, that's a really good start. That should have been most of the episode. The whole cinema, the 1950s cinema was like an interesting backdrop for that, but it should have only been the backdrop. What they should have done instead was, you know how they went with a Hanna-Barbera style for the cartoons, like even referencing Scooby-Doo in dialogue in the obligatory gender quirky way that they did it. And so make the episode an entire Scooby-Doo pastiche, which admittedly is anachronistic for the 1950s, but hey, so is the CalArts bean mouth on Mr. Ring-a-Ding, and don't even stop there. Throw in a bunch of Looney Tunes style hijinks, like, I don't know, what happens when characters run away in Looney Tunes? They run off a cliff, and they hang in the air for a few seconds until they realize they're about to fall. Do that. Do that. Have everything work on cartoon logic. Someone could run off screen and then immediately come back on the other side. You could do the Scooby-Doo interdimensional hallway thing. I'm just saying. You could do the head injury results in a comical oversized lump thing. You could do the pull off his face to reveal it was actually a mask thing. And since we're breaking the fourth wall, you could even do the cartoon character fights with the animator thing. The possibilities are endless, and instead of all of that untapped potential, you just have the Doctor and Belinda become cartoon characters, and then stop being cartoon characters. We've seen this era of the show use cartoon logic to duplicate the TARDIS. It's just a shame it couldn't have happened in the cartoon episode. So instead of all that, the only piece of cartoon logic we get in this scene, and I think you can tell where this is going if you've seen the episode, the only piece of cartoon logic is that I'm only two-dimensional, so I only think in simplified thoughts, which is such an insult to the art of animation. I just can't believe you tee yourself up for something amazing and then just blow the shot. Well, actually I can believe this because it's Doctor Who and I don't really expect much nowadays, so more often than not I'm actually pleasantly surprised. That came out more negative than I meant it. So, once they've returned from cartoonhood to the obviously superior medium of live action, oh, and as an intermediate stage they get turned into 3D animation, which is to obviously imply that Pixar slop 3D is better than traditional 2D, which, fuck that too, but I don't mean all 3D animation is bad, but when you position it as the superior medium to 2D, that has the same problem as positioning all animation as inferior to live action. It's very boomer, you can tell that it was written by a boomer who doesn't appreciate animation. So once they're returned to live action, the Doctor and Belinda try to break the fourth wall to escape back into the real world. Their first attempt to do so sends them not into the cinema, but into the living room of 3 fans who are watching the show, and I, for one, think this concept was inspired, especially their reactions and the meta-commentary, including the one who knew what was going to happen because she saw the leaks online. Which reminds me, wasn't it leaked online that this one was going to break the fourth wall? Possibly intentionally, who knows? I still don't think it was perfect. I think there was a lot of things the fan scene could have done, like when they say their favorite episodes, they should have disagreed. Like, Doctor Who fans are kind of like Jews in this regard. You ask 3 of them their favorite episode, you're gonna get 4 different opinions. I also think they kind of chickened out and didn't fully commit to the fourth wall break, because halfway through this you have the fans realizing that they are themselves fictional characters and that the Doctor and Belinda are real. Which didn't add much to the scene. It, if anything, wasted their precious screen time on them having existential dread about how they're going to stop existing when their scene finishes, which didn't really fit the vibe that I felt this episode was trying to go for. But there's one thing I can't help but love about the fourth wall scene, and those who know me will know what this is. It's the fact that they referenced R.I.P. Doctor Who. Our hashtag made it into the show! And I like to think my 2 tweets contributed somehow. I was even watching this episode with 2 of my friends, coincidentally enough, if you can believe it or not, and one of them actually said to me, "Hey Ed, that's you!" I've finally achieved my dream of being played in Doctor Who by a fat disabled woman of representation. My only regret is that they didn't also make me black. So yeah, Lux, decent episode. The main thing wrong with it was the wasted potential, which is a nice problem to have. I'd have liked it even more if it had been with a different Doctor and a different companion, because, well, let's be honest about it, I'm struggling to warm to these 2. The characters aren't any better in the other episode and are actually a little bit more annoying, which segues nicely into the other episode, The Well, which was, by all accounts, another decent episode. Some of the characters were a bit annoying, but most of all, the horror concept was played really well. I also think the deaf woman's disability played into the plot really well. There were a few lines about how it should be illegal for nurses to not be able to use sign language that were a bit annoying, but you know, you're used to that with Doctor Who if you've been watching this far, so you learn to tolerate it, so most of it was fine. The Doctor and his overly camp mannerisms, like calling this guy Babes even when he tells him to stop, is annoying, but you move past it. You can tell that I liked it though, because I'm struggling to think of things to say, and as for the Midnight connection, which, by the way, spoilers, the planet is Planet Midnight from the episode of the same name, I don't think that really takes away from either episode, but I don't think it adds much either. I'm actually inclined to agree with the Council of Geeks here, which is that it makes the Whoniverse feel small in ways that it clearly shouldn't. And the more you think about it, the less sense it really makes, because the monster, the entity, whatever it is doing something completely different from what it did in Midnight, if indeed it is the same thing. Which is explained away with a few lines of dialogue about how before it was playing, trying to communicate or something like that, which has the unfortunate implication of the monster being way scarier. I'm sorry, this episode was scary, but it wasn't a patch on Midnight. The monster was way scarier when it was in an episode where it wasn't actually trying to kill people. You see, that's the problem. If it had been 2 different monsters, it could even be 2 different monsters on the planet Midnight, and when the Doctor finds out this is Midnight 400,000 years in the future, he could still panic and be really scared because, I don't know what's on Midnight, there was one monster on it that really fucking scared me, but this one is a completely, who knows, I don't know what this is, but I'm scared of this planet, I want off. That should have been the Midnight connection. You didn't have to make it the same entity. And the thing where the monster possibly survives at the end, I know that's a horror movie trope, but it's a horror movie trope because it is sequel bait. Stop that, Russell! There's pretty much only one kind of story you can tell with this particular monster. It's not like a Dalek or a Cyberman you can tell many different kinds of stories with. And the whole bringing it back in the first place is blatant nostalgia bait if I haven't said so already. And in the time it's taken me to record this video, another episode or two has been released. And everything I've heard so far makes it sound like a return to form of it being shit. I've gotten so used to that it's actually quite nice when an episode comes along, in fact 2 in a row, that are not bad but refreshingly mid. But more than that though, they're a reminder of why I became a fan in the first place. Stuck it out through all the difficult years, because somewhere beneath all the death and decay is the bones of a show that I once loved. So that is why I remind you to love with one heart, hate with the other. I'll see you in the next video. Same space time, same space channel!
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
So yeah, we should have had an animated Doctor Who episode. And maybe if we did, Mr. Enter could have reviewed it and given it 9 out of 11. I'm sorry, jokes like that are just plain wrong.